to say how many people are missing, dead or injured, of course, at this point, although we heard a number there from authorities that the scope was perhaps around 8. But the fear here, of course, is that that number will unfortunately and sadly rise. An extremely powerful 8.9 quake struck about 150 kilometres off Honshu province, and that was just a few hours ago. That's an unprecedented quake for Japan. They're used to many quakes, but not of this magnitude when you're talking about 8.9, and there have been half a dozen or so serious aftershocks, some up to 6.8, so that is an earthquake in itself as an aftershock. Now, a tsunami, of course, that's that great speeding wall of water slamming into the coastline. That was just a short time ago, and a number of waves following that too. It rolled over towns and farm fields, and of course there were many, just not the one, but this one was the dramatic when you see this wave of water and mud with boats, trucks, cars, and indeed people too. That is the sad story that we are following here as this unfolds before our very eyes, and you see there fires on the ground. Now, motorists were ahead of the wave. They tried to escape, of course, to move faster than that wave as it approached. You can see them there, and just look at that fire. Now, several have erupted across the area that was hardest hit. This is actually an oil refinery in the city of Chiba. And tsunami warnings have been issued right across the wider region, the Pacific Rim, and we are told more waves are expected for Japan. And while watches and warnings are up in some 20 or so countries now, we're hearing in the Pacific, that's from the Philippines to Russia, Guam, Australia, Indonesia, Taiwan, a whole range, and the US state of Hawaii. Evacuations are now underway, so we're keeping a very close eye on that. All right, Kyung La is on with us now. I'm not sure if you're on the line or they're live in the studio. On the line, I'm hearing. Kyung La, we haven't spoken for a while now. No doubt you've had an opportunity to gather some more information on this. What are you able to tell us, particularly about the tsunami and the effects there on the coastline?
Well, information actually has been really difficult to gather, Rosemary. Let me explain why. This is one of the only phone lines we have out of the Bureau. Phone lines are very difficult to get right now, whether it be a mobile line or it be a landline. The system is simply jammed as people are trying to reach their loved ones, especially if they're trying to reach up north. So the infrastructure right now is simply overloaded. It's only 3 hours since the initial quake struck. Information is starting to seep in. The local authorities and the local media are reporting a vast array of numbers that at this point we just simply can't confirm, including a number of deaths, how many fires there are, and there are reports of injuries, across the country. But at this point, trying to confirm that information, trying to get and really understand what's happening up north has been extraordinarily difficult. I can tell you that we are still feeling aftershocks here in Tokyo, that they are certainly nothing like that first one we felt, the first quake we felt 3 hours ago, and they have seemed to lessen in strength as the day progresses. But the aftershocks are continuing. Here in Tokyo, the rail line does not appear to be back up yet. As we last checked, people are still kind of walking around in the streets. It's a bit of an extraordinary sight. If you go by any of these parks, the parks are simply filled with people who are standing around trying to figure out what they're going to do next. So it's really been a bit of an unusual day in Tokyo as people try to sort of gather their thoughts and try to remain calm and try to respond in a calm manner. We want to make clear the situation in Tokyo is vastly different than what's happening up north. Up north is the impact of the tsunami. It is the immediate emergency, trying to rescue